everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Two Chiefs, One Mike. I'm Scott Hughes,
And I'm Mike Hawkins.
and we are glad to have you back here for episode number 6. This is a special episode as we honor the men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And Chief Mike and I thought we'd talk a little bit about Police Week. So, Mike, you've been, correct?
I've been, and there's nothing like it. We'll get into it later, obviously, in the conversation, but I would encourage everybody to go at least one time. I've only been once. I'd like to go again. There was so much going on that I'd like to go back and kind of digest it a little bit. But, back in 1962, President John F. Kennedy designated May 15th as National Peace Officer Day, Memorial Day. So whatever that week, when it falls in, becomes National Police Week. So it is upon us starting Sunday and runs through Saturday. And if you've been to DC, there are a ton of events. And I've known a few people that have ridden in that Unity tour coming in there, but I don't ride myself. But I did enjoy Police Week. And you've been there as well?
I did. I was just trying to pull up when I went. I think I went in 2017, maybe 2018 is when I went.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was 17.
Yeah, so oh boy, we might have been there at the same time. But I'll tell you, I can't find it right now. That's all right. I think Police Week is one of those experiences that every American law enforcement officers have to go to, because I tell you what it does, it shows you just how strong the brotherhood and the sisterhood is. As we go about our days and we go about our just routines, if you will, it's easy to forget sometimes just what a tight knit group this is, and everybody should have to go at least one time. So I really think it just reminds you what an awesome fraternity law enforcement is.
Yeah, and I was brought into it, right? So we'd always had groups in our area that travel, large groups go down there. We've had 4, 5, 6 officers at times go down there. This year, I think is the first time we haven't had anybody in a while go down there. But you're right, I would encourage it. And it's a somber time, but like you said, that brotherhood and that interaction with people not only from across the country but all over the world is something you can't forget. It's things like this, and I hate to say it because nobody does it right like cops. I tell you what, when cops get together, it's a good time. But Police Week, I used to try and get the younger guys to go to funerals, and I hated going, but I loved going at the same time because it's that same type of brotherhood. I've actually been out to NYPD, I think 3 times for funerals, and you talk about doing it
Really?
right.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they do it right. But
Yeah.
it gives you that reassurance that there are people out there. You're fighting the good fight with everybody, and sometimes you look around and it's just us. But I think it's a good experience for people to see some of these things.
So every week, or excuse me, every year for, I don't know, 30, 40 years now, Caliber Press, who, I do some instructing for on the side, Caliber Press goes to Cleveland during Police Week. And I was told Cleveland's Police Week, celebration, for lack of better words,
I know I hate to use that word.
yeah, it
And
sounds like
I'm trying not to offend anybody, but it
yeah,
is a celebration of
of life.
respect and
Yeah,
honor and
respect.
life. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah. So, but their Police Week that they do up in Cleveland, I was told, in its heyday, was second to DC. The first year that I went up to Cleveland and I taught street survival for Police Week was probably, I don't know, 2014, 2015. And I'm telling you what, they had drum and bugle corps groups from New York, from Canada, from Chicago. I mean, it was a huge, huge operation. And they did an event called the Tattoo, where these groups, these drum and bugle corps, they like competed against each other, and they had all the bagpipes. It was just unbelievable. And it's really cool because Caliber Press, they do street survival on Wednesday and Thursday, and then the party really kicks off Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They have a really nice parade that goes downtown Cleveland. It's really cool. Of course, 2020 happened, so I think they're trying to pick it back up again. But I'm actually leaving tomorrow after I get
are you
off
go? You're
work.
going?
Yeah, I'm going up to teach Wednesday and Thursday, so
Okay.
I'll be teaching street survival
Yeah,
this
I
week.
didn't know they had anything outside of DC. Other some small things here and there, but yeah, I'd never
Oh,
heard of that.
yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
pretty
those
big.
those those bugles, those bagpipes. I mean, you can sit in Kelly's Irish Times and they come in and everybody stops and just in awe and together. It's amazing
Where
stuff.
did we go when we were at the National Academy? Where was that restaurant we went to and they brought those bagpipes in? Do you remember?
Tony Dana Pauli's, I think.
Is that what that's
Was
it?
it?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
that's
Yeah.
what it
Is that what
was.
you just
Yeah.
said? Did you just say
Yeah.
that? I
No,
didn't
no,
hear
no,
you.
no. I was talking about Kelly's Irish Times in DC during Police Week, but
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, but speaking of that, we just had an event here, tragic event here last week. Cincinnati Police Department got information about a stolen car in a parking lot of an apartment complex. So officers roll in, and I'll give you the condensed version, but officers roll in, 3 or 4 guys bail out of the car. They give chase. Body cameras are turned on, all the good stuff. And officer says, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. And, seconds later, they shoot and they have to defend themselves. And this young man ends up getting killed. And the next day, they're showing the body cam video to the family members. And that young man's father's in the room. And according to media reports, in the press conference that was given, the father gets up abruptly and just leaves during the briefing where they're showing this body cam footage. And I think they're in the lawyer's office, but it doesn't matter. He drives, a few miles away, and he drives near the University of Cincinnati's college campus, and you see commencement ceremony is taking place. And again, according to the media, according to the press conference, the father of the kid that was shot and killed by the police a day earlier, who had a gun on him, the father saw an officer directing traffic, letting these, family and friends and stuff for the UC commencement speech across the street, and takes his car and it looks like just floored it full speed and hit and killed Deputy Larry Henderson of the Hamilton
And
County.
I know we talked about it. You knew this officer, correct? And he had just retired. Is that correct, or did I read that wrong?
No, 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 you're right. Yeah, so Deputy Henderson, we knew of each other. We didn't know each other, like, we didn't talk all the time. But he came on in like '97, which is about the same time that I came on. And Larry was really big in the training world. He was bomb tech. He was on the dive team. He was on the SWAT team. I've told some people here recently, I don't think you could have been hired by the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, which is a big agency, right? It's Cincinnati. So it's the Sheriff's Office that represents Cincinnati, and him and Larry not have impacted you in some way through whether it's in service training or whatever. But yeah, so this father, he hit and killed Larry. Larry didn't even work for Cincinnati. He was targeted for wearing his uniform. So yeah, Friday I went to the funeral down at the Cintas Center, Xavier University. They did a phenomenal job with recognizing Larry and what he did. But and of course we did the procession to the cemetery, and there was an older gentleman who I'm going to say probably served in, we'll say probably like the Vietnam era, and he was there like volunteering his time, handing out waters and stuff to the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of officers who were standing outside in the sun, and they did the gun salute, and then they played taps on the Trump, and I was fine until that moment.
Yeah.
And I saw this gentleman in front of me. You could tell he took his hat off, and you could just see the tears flowing down this old timer's face. And there's no doubt that he was um, reminiscing on probably what he experienced back in the day in Vietnam. But anyhow, I don't want to talk while I'm telling you that. Oh, we were talking about the bagpipes, but yeah. So we'll dedicate
Yeah,
this.
terrible
We'll
story.
dedicate this show to Larry Henderson, Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. Good dude, targeted for wearing the uniform. So anyway, what else you got going on up there in Michigan, man? How's the weather? What's new?
The weather today is phenomenal, and yesterday, right? We're gonna get a little rain, I think, in the next couple days, but I feel like summer is around the corner, or maybe even just spring. But I tell you what, it is because of this weather change. Our guys have been busy running around. We had 2 chases the night before. I had to close the blinds behind me because there's a hole in the wall from a car that ran right by the station here and into the building. I mean, it's getting
He
crazy
hit
out
the
there.
he hit the police building, the police department.
No, just behind me, the one building right behind me. If I open that window and look out there, there's a hole right there.
Well, you have to
But
take a picture and we'll put it on the
yeah,
thing.
but people are getting antsy and the weather's breaking and it's getting busy. So back to Police Week for a quick second. What happens for you guys in Ohio, and have you seen anything, community reach out, do anything? Because I'll tell you, for us, originally, maybe pre-COVID, we would be swamped with food, with not gifts, but just, people dropping stuff off, thank yous, cards, everything. COVID happened, a little bit less, and now it's, we have a great community that, it's thank you that we get waved at and, say hello all the time, but seem to be a little less lately. What about you guys?
Um, I don't. It's weird because we work in a really great area where there's a lot of support for law enforcement, and I haven't seen anything yet. Of course, today's the 12th, so we're still a couple days away. But I'm gonna suspect that we will have, usually our police wives of the region, they will make baked goods, and they've been bringing up these huge gift bags the last few years with energy drinks and protein
Mhm.
bars and
Yeah,
fruit,
we've
and
had all that stuff, yeah.
yeah. But I think, and we've talked about this before. I think the support for law enforcement, the pendulum is swinging back in our direction, and I think you might be surprised. I also think we do a really good job down here with the media, with kind of promoting it, social media and array in the regular media, promoting Police Week, and of course, here in this region specifically, I think this will be a. I think we'll see more of it because of Deputy Henderson's death, and
Yeah,
having having
absolutely.
just buried him Friday. I think we'll
But
see.
that's the problem, right? So that's the
Yeah.
problem is you need a tragedy to have that type of response, and it shouldn't be like that. And your community, we're the same way. Like I was at council tonight and talked about Police Week for a quick second. Thanked our men and women. Thank the council for letting us be the police. Some communities don't have that, right? We're fortunate to have that, and our residents too. We're in a great spot. Sounds a lot like where you are. So we will get some stuff. It just you're right. That pendulum is swinging back, but not as fast as I thought it was going to.
Well, I think that's what's frustrating for cops today is it's like the media supports us, and I hate to generalize because there are some good media folks out there, and so it's going to sound like a generalization, but it is what it is. I got the microphone, so I guess you got to listen. But it seems like the media will cover, the death of an officer. It'll be all over the TV, right? It'll be you log on to their app. It's nothing about respect for the officer and who he was and all about him, and
Sells clicks, yeah.
exactly. And then, the minute that there's an opportunity to drive a different narrative, it's like boom. It's like we forgot all about, and every media person I've spoken with, they've said, well, it's just a news cycle and that's our job and we got to stay fair and
It's
balanced.
only as good as the next story, right? The next story drops, now instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what frustrates cops though, is that, why can't you all be this positive all the time? And I'm sure some of that's on us too for not promoting the good that we do. Some places are better than others. And if I've been told this once, I've been told it 100 times, and I don't know. I don't even know who said it originally, but I'm sure people listening will have already heard this too. But that is, you have to look at it like your bank, that you got to make deposits because eventually you're gonna have to make a withdrawal. And I've that analogy has always stuck with me. And I think some agencies get it better than others, but yeah, it shouldn't take a tragedy to bring people together. And I'll take it one step further. Look at the way we treat each other in this profession. Look at the way cops treat each other. Friday, it didn't matter what uniform you had on, didn't matter what color your uniform was, didn't matter what color your cruiser was, didn't matter if you were local, county, state, federal. We were all one. We were all one. And I wish we could treat each other in this profession that way all the time, right? It shouldn't be only at a funeral or only at a memorial where we realize, hey, we're a tight knit group and we need to take care of each other, because when it goes south, and it will go south, we're, like you said earlier, Mike, we're the only ones out there. We have to have each other's back. And that's something I've thought about for decades now. Is every police funeral I've gone to, man, you see everybody that, the allergies are bad. Every police funeral,
Yeah.
something happens with allergies, every police funeral, and everybody comes together and they'll have these celebrations and this, that, and the other, and then life happens, time moves on, and we just seems like we just slowly forget, and
Yeah,
it
I think
becomes a.
that's also that defense mechanism, right? You push that thing way back in the brain and keep going. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if we could remember what brings us together, keep us together, that'd be even better. So media wise, what do you have down there? What newspaper, local, or is it kind of a regional thing? How are you
Nah, we're like every
interacting
other.
with them?
We do a lot on social media. I think we do a lot on social media, a lot on X. Facebook's kind of whatever. But yeah, X is the big one right now for media for us because I know the media follows X, and that's what they look at for breaking news and the latest and greatest going on. But no, we got a great, typical big city market, major city market down here. Got 4 news stations, 1 major publication, newspaper wise. Which, by the way, you said newspaper. I mean, you're showing your age.
I know. Gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Who the hell reads a
The digital,
newspaper?
maybe digital newspaper, right? Yeah. Well, listen, I remember delivering it. I could carry it all under one arm, man, and deliver that
Yeah,
stuff. But do the
we,
local one.
you delivered a newspaper. You got up at 5 in the morning. You wore all dark clothing. You rode your bike with no lights, no reflectors, and you still made it.
Yeah, right now, I'd be stopping me if I was out there. Yeah, we use an app, and that's how we get a lot of ours out. But we sync it with our social media, right? So I posted something yesterday on online, and talked about Police Week, and said, we're going to be coming out, and my deputy chief came up with the "while you were sleeping" tag, right? Because other agencies around us do a great job
Mm-hmm.
of promoting themselves.
Yep.
But what did we do while you were sleeping? Because in a town like yours, a town like my, people come and say, "Well, nothing happens there." It's like that couldn't be farther from the truth. We
Yeah.
see the same thing as a big city, just not in the volume
Do you do it
that
every
that
day?
people do.
Do you do while you were sleeping every day, or just if you get
Well,
like an arrest or something?
if you want to download our app, you might be able to see the first installment of While You Were Sleeping, because I'm working on it as we are right here, right? So, um, we had a busy week. It's not going to be weekly, but as we were going
What's
to
the?
let people know what's going
Hold
on.
on. Well, let's hold on a second. What's it called? What's the app?
The Trenton Police.
So I just go to Google and type in Trenton Police,
Oh no, you got to go to
or
you've
to
got
the
the
App
Android,
Store.
right?
Yeah, I got Android.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there it is, Trenton
I think
Police
we make it
Department.
for that. Yeah.
You got 100 followers. You guys made
No,
followers on
no,
your,
100 plus. No, it says 100 plus, which could be thousands.
or it could be 101.
It could be, but
Well, who made the app, or can you not say that because it's?
so the police app
Oh, I've heard of that.
is the
Okay,
company. Yeah, so
okay.
we saw them at the MACP conference, and
I'm downloading your app.
well, you can ask me a question right there on it. Chat with the chief.
Get out of here. Can I
Oh yeah,
really?
I get some good questions.
Do
Are
I
you
want?
so and so's dad? I'll get it from a student
Do
in
I?
school. With my kids. Like what?
Do I want to allow Trenton PD to send me notifications?
Oh my gosh, why not?
No, I don't. Oh my goodness.
No, you don't need the notifications. You see my smiling face on there.
Chief's Corner.
Yeah, yeah,
Ask the chief a question.
yeah.
Name optional. Oh, everything's optional. Oh, I'm going to send you a question. Oh,
But
this
that's
is
how we keep up. So I can
this
send
is
notifications out, and I don't have to have it ping their phone, right? So we got rid of Nixle, Code Red, all that stuff. We want people, so download this app. We'll give you up to date information, link it with everything else. And yeah, so I posted yesterday, wrote a letter, and then said, well, tomorrow we'll be coming out with the While You Were Sleeping, and
oh
it was a
yeah,
busy
there it
day.
is.
So now I'm stuck here trying to do that.
Talking to me. So, do you think you have more followers on this on your app than you do traditional stuff like Facebook and stuff?
No, I would say we have see we're in a funny situation because we share the name of a big city out of New Jersey. So a lot of times we'll get people who think they were downloading something else. I mean, we'll have thousands of people on, Facebook, but
This is
you
pretty
know,
cool.
and we can tailor that app to. I can change it. I go in and change. I have, you have a traffic tip. You go right to the traffic bureau. You have commend an officer, a complaint, it goes right to the deputy chief. It goes in the right places, and we've had tips come out there that are
Well,
actually pretty important.
now that I look at this, I've heard about this before. We'll have to get the people from the company on an episode, and they can talk about this app. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
no, it's a great app. They do it for anything, but yeah, that's what we use. So I've got to promote us and do our little while we were sleeping, and then you can go in there and you can read it because I know you're interested.
I'm going to get up every morning and go, I wonder what they did in Trenton, Michigan last night.
Absolutely, it won't be
Well,
every day though.
that's a good idea though. We
Yeah,
got
but at
wait.
least weekly, and we steal the idea, right? So
Every good
why
idea has been stolen.
yeah. So there's some departments around us that do just a phenomenal job of keeping people up to date, and
It takes
you
a lot of
know,
work. I mean, somebody's got to do
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
so just another bullet point under what the chief does every day.
yeah, absolutely.
Folks don't realize how much work that takes. Somebody's got to do that. You mentioned earlier about getting busy and while you were sleeping and things that are going on, I think it's good to remind people we have a saying when we teach street survival: anytime, anywhere, by anyone, for any reason. We also say be prepared, not paranoid. And as you know, we come up on police week. We lost 165 officers in 2024,
Yeah.
and you know, gotta watch your six. Gotta take care of each other. Chiefs, we got chiefs have to train. We gotta train chiefs. We gotta train chiefs. I'm talking to you. You gotta train your people. Train them. Train them. Train them. Not webinars. Train them. Train them. Train them. Got to get them live fire. You got to get them on the ground. You got to get them practicing root fundamentals, handcuffing.
It's funny. I had that same conversation this afternoon with somebody, how
Yeah.
much they dislike, the online training, which I don't disagree, how much we need to tailor our new defensive tactics instead of an 8-hour day. Let's do a couple hours every month, stay fresh and keep what's going on. So as we're building our new station, which could be a whole episode on its own, we're trying to keep that in mind as we go forward to
I
keep
met
these
with
guys
my,
sharp.
I'm sorry, I met with my administrator today. Like in the township, they call them administrators. In the city, they call them city managers or town managers. But I met with him today, and I was telling him, we're out of room. Like we have outgrown our space. The building's 25 years old. When they built the police department, there were 5,000.
Boo.
Oh yeah, when they built the police department, there was 5,000 people. We're now at 35, almost 35,000 people. So we've just outgrown the space.
Do you know how old my station is?
No.
98 years old. And I can feel the effects of it every day. Anyway, go.
Well, but now we were talking about, renovations and what would you do and blah blah blah. And I said, one of the things that I want to do is I want to put a mat room in because we have mats laying out. We ground fight 4 times a year at a minimum, and I want a room dedicated for ground fighting. I want to expand our gym. I want to, you know, you said you do 2 hours a month, which I think is phenomenal. I think
No, 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 no. We're going to
you're going to do
when we
two
get
hours a
to, yeah,
month.
and that was a conversation today. We don't have a mat room. We were an old city hall, library, court that's converted into a police station forever. We use the high school mat room, and it's a lot of space. It's a lot of expensive space, but our DT instructor, he's going to be around a long time, says this is what we need.
Yep.
I'm building a station for everybody else, right? I'm not going to be here in at 10, 15, 20 years, right? Hopefully I
Right.
get a few years out of it once it's built, but I'm building it for everybody else. He tells me
Are you
he
gonna have
needs
a
a mat
room?
room.
Are you gonna have a Mike Hawkins room when you leave? Do you think they'll dedicate a room for you?
Well, there's a bathroom probably in the way.
The middle stall.
Yeah, yeah, middle stall, maybe a gold fixture or something. Yeah, no. But trying to get these guys the right stuff to your point for training. We need a gym area, we need the mat room, but it's coming with when I sat down with all these people and said, "Hey, let's get this. Let's get this." Okay, it's a sauna, infrared stuff. It's cold plunge in there. I mean, it's what the guys
Really?
want. Oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna
Dude,
be.
that is awesome. That you're the second chief I've talked to who's said they're getting a cold plunge. Who was I just
So
somebody's
now
got
these
one.
aren't my ideas. Again, these are their ideas, but I'm
Yeah.
just trying to make sure that we have the space in the room, and we're also working on a nice 40-person training room, but a glass box. It's like a showcase on the outside for the community to use. So one of these, I can show you the plans and get them up there, and it'll be the company we're using is phenomenal. They are the number one in police and fire design, and then they're partnered with a local architect as well. So we get the kind of the best of both worlds.
That's awesome. Well, that's awesome, man.
So so you met with them. What do you need? What is it besides your mat room? I
Oh, we
interrupted you. Got all
you're
excited
right.
about my
Yeah, it's
station.
okay. We're supposed to be talking about police week, and now we're talking about your urinal is going to be named after you.
Yeah.
But well, we were talking about like we have no room in the lockers. We're out of locker space. We have no more male lockers. So the female locker room is just about all occupied. So fortunately, we have an unfinished basement. We can extend it out too. But we just need more room. And I said, one of the things we need to, we're going to keep doing the training and yada yada yada. And yeah, make a like our mat room is temporary right now. It's out in the unfinished part of the basement. It needs its own space because that type of training is the future for law enforcement. That's what's going to keep our people safe and make them go home at the end of their shift. And
That's why my DT guy watches this and says he likes you. That's why I steal my ideas from you. But I said that, so when he convinced me we need mats, right? I don't want to roll mats out into a sweaty training room and roll them up and do that. I want a mat room.
Yeah.
If we're going to use it, we're going to do it right.
Right.
Guys can
Right.
work out in there, do extra stuff, but you know, trying to think ahead, not always easy when you're trying to solve a problem of today. We've also got to solve problems of 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Right. Yeah. Build for the future, not for the present. All right, brother. Well, hey, quick little episode. Good catching up with you again. Oh, real quick, I want to tell you this. I was in the state of Wyoming last week speaking at their Chiefs and Sheriffs Conference. And at the first break, a guy walks up to me and he said, I've never met you. You're doing a great job. Thanks for coming here and speaking. Great stuff. Can't wait to hear you the rest of the day. He goes, but I'm trying to figure out where I know you from. And I'm like, well, man, I got a face for radio, so whatever. And he was like, no, it dawned on me. I recognized your voice. I'm like, you do? He goes, I ever listen to your podcast. So Mike, there you go. We've made it all the way from the Midwest to the great state of Wyoming. We have one listener in Wyoming, him.
Well, that's not
Bless his
bad.
heart. I say, I'll take it. The Cowboy State, I'll take it. No, but hey,
Yeah.
good stuff, brother. All right. Well,
Yeah.
if you're traveling out to Police Week in DC, be safe. Take care of each other. Be careful in Tent City. Say it louder for the people in the back. Be careful in Tent City. Make sure you take a ton of challenge coins. Take a ton of
My
patches
gosh.
because
Yeah.
you will need them. It's like going to the FBI Academy. Take
And
more than you.
don't. I've heard stories of people trading their badge for other. Don't trade your badge, right? Just take some challenge coins, take some patches, maybe a shirt, but yeah,
Hey,
it's a good
we
time.
we had to take a couple weeks off because full time work gets in the way. But I want to remind people we have got some really good guests coming up. I'm gonna have a conversation this week with a young lady whose husband unfortunately committed suicide, and I'm gonna hear her tell her story on Thursday, and she wants to come on. We've got a gentleman who's going to come on and talks about effectively recruiting for the military. For specifically for law enforcement. So I know we're excited about him. I know you had a couple folks
Yeah,
reach
we've
out.
got one for accreditation. He's not only doing statewide, but he's doing some national accreditation and how important it is to chiefs to have their agencies on board. And then we have another one that is huge in community involvement, community engagement, and he wants to come on and talk about some of the things that he's done. And they're different, right? So it's not the basic, coffee with the cop. These things are things that he's going around the country speaking on. So that'll be interesting as well.
That's awesome. And we should tell them too that the show's gotten popular enough that we've had to hire a part-time employee to help us with the editing and the producing it because we just don't have time. So it's good, right? First world problem. So we're excited. So
Yeah.
all right, brother. Well, hey man, be safe out there, everybody. Take care of each other. Watch each other's back. Remember, be prepared, not paranoid. Don't do anything stupid. What else you got, Mike?
That's it. Enjoy this police week. Say thank you. If you're listening to somebody, or look in the mirror and say thank you to yourself and be happy you chose this profession and do it right.
Awesome. All right, yo. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.